everybody, it's Rebecca here at Y Mermaids, and today I have a combination video for you today. If you know, last week I participated in BookBuddyAthon, which was hosted by Elena from Elena Reads Books and Sam from Cold Tea and Crumbs, and I had a lot of buddies. So I had a pretty, ambitious TBR for this project. It was a 5-book TBR. So I decided I was gonna wrap that up for you today and basically tell you that I failed tremendously at BookBuddyAthon. Like, completely. I filmed 1 update video. 1. So I'm not even gonna put it in here because there's no point. It's just 1 video. Which kind of tells you about what I read this week too. I read a total of 1 book and about 150 pages of another one. And that's it. To be fair, it was a tough week. It was my first full week back to school with students, which is always stressful, and pretty much every day I came home lesson planning, because did I do that over the summer? No, I read 100 million books and did not lesson plan over the summer. And so, yeah, I came home and had to still do that. So I just didn't really have a lot of time to read. My brain was so fried from working and teaching and thinking, and I love my job, but I just could not. I didn't have time to read this week. And plus, I'm also addicted to the Sum Sum game, when I blame the Lawn Gnome for this because he got me into it and now I can't stop playing. So whenever I have free time, rather than reading, I'm Sum Summing and then waiting to get more lives so I can do it again. But let me tell you what I did read so we can wrap that up, and then I have another special part of this video that's coming after that. So the first thing I read was Wolf in White Van by John Darnielle. So I really loved this book. I loved it. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. It was nothing like I expected it to be, and I absolutely fell in love with it. And yes, it's basically the story of this guy who has a serious accident when he's like 17. You don't know what that is until the very end, so I'm not gonna spoil it for you. So basically he creates this game. It's like a mail-in game where it's like a role-play mail-in game, and he creates it with this gigantic world, and it's kind of just this story about that, and I don't really want to say anything else because it's just really good. It's really good. I loved it, and I was really glad that I read it. So thank you to Janae for recommending that one to me, because I really did love it, and I recommend it to all of you now. So that's the first book I read, and that's the only book that I finished. But then I decided I'm doing a buddy read with Morgan from Little Word Weaver of The Lies of Lamora by Scott Lynch. And so I'm really enjoying this book. I'm only 150 pages in so far. This is Sunday. I still have time to read, but will I read that many pages tonight? No. So I'm just wrapping it up now. So far, I really, really, really like it. It's interesting, it's different, it's like Robin Hood and Oliver Twist and awesomeness all in one, and I really do love it. But again, it's a baby reading slump, so I'm having a hard time like finding time and effort and like desire to start reading. So I am gonna continue on with this, and Morgan I will catch up to, I promise. But it's a little slow going for me, so I haven't read anything else because this is the second book I picked up. And again, I didn't realize that it was 700 and something pages long. Well, so that's what I did. That's what I read. It's not a lot. So, I'm gonna, to make my life crazier, I'm gonna give you a TBR that I'm doing now. So, as some of you know, I am going to YALLFEST in November in Charleston, South Carolina, and it's basically YALLFEST is a big book conference convention for young adult books and authors, and there's a bazillion authors there, and I'm going with a bunch of my booktube friends, and I'm so excited to meet them and to like meet the authors and to just play and such. So I have compiled a TBR of some of the books I'd like to read before I go, so that if I happen to see these authors, then I can actually say I've read your book, because that would be nice. I've only read like 3 of the authors that are there, so I'd like to kind of, add to that. Now there's like 30 or 40 or 50 authors there, so there's no way I'm reading all of them, but let me tell you the ones I want to read. I have 11 books to show you that I want to read before YALLFEST, and so again, that's November, so I feel like I have plenty of time to do it. And so, yeah, let me just show you what those are. I have a couple of them physical copies, and then most of them I have digital copies of, and some of them I don't have any copies of yet, but I will. So first up is Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. So, yeah, this one's been it made its round on BookTube a while ago. I still haven't read it. Yeah. Marissa Meyer from the Lunar Chronicles is going to be there, and I have only read Cinder, so I'd really like to pick up Scarlet, you know, and continue on with that series, and then maybe if I'm feeling really rambunctious, read Cress as well. Ooh, and maybe, you know, we'll see. But I would like to at least read Scarlet again, but if I don't get to it, at least I've read Cinder. I'd like to read Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo, because she's going to be there, and I haven't read the series, and everybody raves about it, so I need to read it. I just haven't yet. The Walled City by Ryan Graudin. This one, Max from Well Done Books says this is one of the best YA books he's read recently, so I decided that was good enough for me to read it, so I really want to read this one. Some other ones that I don't have but I want to read are The Diviners by Libba Bray, because everybody says that it's awesome. Like Sarah without an H, I feel like this is her favorite book, and she always talks about it, and have I read it? I have not, so I need to get on that. The Princess Diaries by Cabot. I haven't read this, and I feel ashamed of that fact, so I want to at least read the first one. I've seen the movies, but I haven't read them, and I feel like that wouldn't take that long to read, so I do want to read them. Maybe when I'm road tripping, if that's the last thing I get to. I could read it then. Soulless by Gail Carriger, the first book in the Parisol Protectorate series. Everybody's talking about this one too. Again, haven't read it. She's gonna be there. I want to potentially read it first. Confession time. I've never read a series of unfortunate events. I think I should fix that. So I'm gonna do that. At least one, right? At least one. Marie Lee was gonna be there, and while I have read the Legend trilogy, I have not yet read the Young Elites, and I really like the Legend trilogy. I heard the Young Elites was not as good, but I still want to read it, so I've been wanting to read it since it came out, so I still want to read it, so I need to read that one too. The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey, plus it's becoming a movie, and I like to read the book before the movie, so that one. And finally, the last book that I want to read before YALLFEST, I know I have to read before YALLFEST because I'm going to be waiting in line with Trina from Between Chapters to meet this author. So I really need to read it first, and that is Mindy McGinnis's Not a Drop to Drink. This is her favorite book right now, and I haven't read it, and I keep saying I'm gonna read it for different readathons, and I haven't done it yet, so I need to get on top of that. Trina, I promise I will read it before YALLFEST, and we can wait in line together, and I will take a picture for you, and it'll be awesome. So I'm gonna read it. This is my promise to all of you, and especially you, Trina, that I will read Not a Drop to Drink before YALLFEST. Well, those are all the books I want to read before YALLFEST, and that is my wrap-up of the BookBuddyAthon, which I failed at, but I still had a really good time with it, and I hope that all of you had a really great readathon as well and did better than me. Let me know down in the comments below, A, what you read for BookBuddyAthon, how well you did, and B, if you're going to YALLFEST, and C, which of the books that I want to read for YALLFEST I should read first, like I should definitely read, so that I can meet that author and actually know what I'm talking about, right? Yes. So anyway, that is it for me today. I'll see you next time.